I was just rocking out the music.
Hello.
Well, howdy.
Brandon.
I was looking at these surveys and I got distracted.
Right. They've just been collecting inside your mailbox. Your post is like, "Did you clean your box out already?"
Yeah, I try not to bring trash inside the house, so we avoided it until I just pulled in the one survey. I knew it was out there. It's been out there since Saturday. I just brought it in like an hour ago.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't get them. It does not matter what goes on. I do not get them. I never got them before I moved out of Muncie. I never got them when I lived in Winchester. I don't get. I get one piece of mail, and it's from the Ridenhour campaign, and I don't even live in the city of Muncie. That's the most comical thing. I get everything that the Ridenhour campaign sends out, but I don't even live in the city of Muncie, which is amazing to me. Mind you all, I don't live in Winchester. I live in Delaware County. I live just over the line before everybody gets crazy.
Yeah, let me tell you his address, everybody.
That's right.
Hey, Yoko, Joey.
Brandon's like outside it right now.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not drool on Chris's shirt? He lives for this stuff. I appreciate that he does. Yeah, it's, hey, my face is up here, folks. You missed. Hey, I was talking to somebody today, and they said, sometimes spite is all I have. I'm driven by spite. And it's like, even when hope is gone, as long as there's spite, you can still
keep going.
Yeah, right.
Shit.
Welcome, everybody. This is the 97th episode. 97th episode. Let me see here. We've got this beautiful thumbnail.
Yeah, I think I've been here for about 95 of the episodes, right?
What'd you say?
I've been here for 95 of the episodes?
At least. Oh my God. We've got a while we are live, Mike Jones has given us an actual comment while we are live. Let's see. Is this on our? Oh no, he's all butthurt because of a picture I put up earlier today. I know he is. Oh, what? We still got this up here. What are we got going on? Let me show you this real quick. The Delaware County Council met today, and it was a disastrous meeting. And I just realized how just horrible two people are. Let me see here. I'm gonna go on here. Yeah, it's just beyond all.
What's Mike Jones is doing? Demanding that Amber tell him all of her future plans.
Whoa! Wait a minute. We were just talking about spite. Look at this. This is amazing to me. Okay, so here's this picture I put up. Here's a quick note for anyone from Delaware County that needs to hear it. County Councilor Jessica Piper and County Council Attorney Ben Freeman are insufferable. Listen, folks.
Insufferable.
It's not like this is my opinion. I am giving you just pure fact, and I don't just give, and I don't just say something.
Factual.
And I'm like, hey, it's just my opinion, and here it is. I give you the actual proof. I say, here's proof. Click the link. If you go click on that link, you'll watch that video, and you'll be like, oh my God, Chris is right. They are actually insufferable. It's not, listen, Piper's not a bad person, I guess. I don't know her really. I do know her personally. We went to school together, but I don't have I don't care about her. I don't care about Ben. They're just insufferable people. Well, Mike Jones said, one thing we can always count on from you, Bilbrey, you always have some negative, derogatory, and normally hateful words towards those in elected or appointed office for no reason than your own spite. Dude, it's like our brains were connected with Mike Jones there for a minute.
Well, one thing we can always count on with Mike Jones is that he lives completely on spite, and no matter how much he hates every single thing you say, he hangs on every single word rent-free in his head and has to comment and then play the victim when you counter.
Yeah, I'm going to copy and paste those words, and I'm going to comment back to him. Look, right here. What I'm going to look. I'm going to do it right now, live, while we're here.
Live Facebook comment.
Live Facebook comment. One thing we can always count on from you. Here we go.
Mike.
Hold on. We'll put this up here. Mike Jones. ...
The hypocrisy is what kills me with like that whole group of like Dan addicts.
Yeah. You always have some negative, derogatory, and normally hateful words towards those that disagree with your
viewpoint or way of thinking
for no reason than your own spite. Look, ta-da, twinsies. What a loser. Yeah.
Well, he hasn't blocked me like T-Square. I don't know why he blocked me. I've never had a single communication with him, but people like, I'll see people arguing with him. I'm like, oh God, I can't see what the hell he's saying.
Yeah, you've never had any kind of argument or any kind of disagreement.
I don't think I've interacted with him, period. So I don't know why he blocked me. I don't know what I did. I mean, my feelings.
Engaged. What'd you say?
My tender feelings, they're hurt.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
I don't know what I did. I really don't. But oh well.
Yeah, that's really strange. You had a disagreement for a period with Mary, and he's kind of Mary's protector. But
it wasn't even a disagreement, really.
No, yeah, you just didn't agree directly with her.
Yeah. Well, it was during that time when she was like crapping on you hardcore.
Yeah.
And then she shared your video in her group, and I was like, I'm kind of surprised you'd share his video. She's like, why? I'm allowed to share it. And I was like, well, of course you're allowed to share it. I'm just kind of surprised. Everybody like started dogpiling me. Why would you be surprised? I'm like, because she's been bad mouthing him for like the last 2 months. And then she's sharing his content. Well, I'm allowed to share his content. I'm not arguing that you can't share his content. I'm just surprised you would.
It's
somebody put, well, you surprise easily. I was like,
I remember that.
I was like, oh, okay. It's just strange that there's content that I don't like, and so I don't watch it and I don't share it. That's all I'm saying.
I will have you note, though.
It's
Troy Tackett, ladies and gentlemen. I will have you note, though, that Troy's been messaging me, and we've been talking behind the scenes. We're like perfectly friends, good friends, and everything seems to be okay. I'm not going to get into this to the comment, the whole full comment, but I just think it's comically enough that he sent me we've just had like a pretty normal since the election. I've been communicating with everybody that hates me, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
tides turn, and then amazingly, everyone's kind of back on the thing. And what sent to me was amazing to me. He said, "This is how he started out this conversation. So you and I get along fairly well." I was like, "What?
We do?
We do?"
Okay.
I love it. I mean, look, I don't have a problem with him. I always am nice to him. He doesn't like my train of thought on things, and I don't care about his. I mean, so it's like it is what it is. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah. My thing is I've not met him. I haven't interacted with him, and I haven't seen any of his posts.
He just blocked you for some reason.
Blocked me. So
Straight out of the gate.
I can't even be mad at him because I don't know what he's saying. I don't have a forum to speak with him or interact with him. I just see other people interacting with him.
I think that those people that want to belong to the Republicans get like a card of people that they're supposed to block on social media. Like somehow, yeah, the family. It's the family and the extended family and the extended family. I don't.
Weird cousins that aren't invited to the family events, but they still acknowledge as family members.
Yeah, right. The rapey uncles.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, right here. This is them after a few drinks. The or pills, which depending on who you are. So anyhow, the main focus of this episode is going to be the Indiana Attorney General. He needs to be a focus. The Indiana General Assembly. But before we get to them and their 2024 session and what their surveys are doing currently, I do just want to hit a couple quick points real quick. The Delaware County Council meeting occurred this morning, and I just want to say you would be fairly entertained. No, you wouldn't, because what it does is one of them goes into talking about cheerleading stories from like 25 years ago when they were in school, and a couple other of them hook up and go off into their own little room over here. It's very boring. I tend to believe that the Republican Party is some of the most vanilla you want to see some actual fun, go to a Democrat event. I've always said the Democrats have far more fun, and that is a very true statement. They even have fun when they lose. They have more fun losing than the Republicans do when they win. So it is what it is. But real quick, I just want to mention what happened in this county council meeting. Now, I'm going to really go into the county council meeting tomorrow. We're going to go through it. We're going to watch it minute by minute and dissect everything. But I want everybody to be able to go back for those of you that are from Delaware County. If you have not been able to watch this Delaware County meeting, please watch it. We're going to dissect it tomorrow, these specific sections I'm talking about. But one of the councilmen was not there. And Brandon, that the state legislature after COVID ruled that they can now Zoom into meetings. I want to ask your opinion on something. We have not talked about this. If a council person is Zooming into a meeting, do you know what the rules are for them to be able to do that?
For them to be able to zoom in?
Yeah. And for it to count. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that it would ever be appropriate for a council person to give an official vote on record by giving a thumbs up and making no noise?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Why?
Well, because there's no record.
You said the magic record. You said the magic word. So if you gave me the thumbs up, I could always say, Counselor Rudd gave me the thumbs up. But you never hear Councilman Rudd say that. So there was
As I look in the minutes, Councilman Rudd gave a thumbs up.
yeah. Counselor producer Kate gave 2 middle fingers.
Is that I'll take that as a no.
I'll take that as a no. So today, there was a councilman who was not there, and this has happened several times with various people, and it's not a big deal. And the county council used to be able to live stream them and put them on the screen, like the council would be in my box and the person not being there would be in yours. We've seen it with Jane Lassiter. We've seen it with Matt Kantz. We've seen it with other people. Well, they recently made an upgrade to their system, and because of the upgrade, they actually can do less now than what they used to be able to do. So, normally that's called a downgrade where I come from, but it is like my car used to go forward and backwards. Now it just goes backwards. I upgraded. So there was a couple of these votes where the councilman could not be heard, and they're like, it's okay, he can just vote by thumbs up. And I heard that, and I'm like, no, that's not true. So I messaged them at their official place where they can see messages. I sent messages to a couple of the council members, and Councilman Webb, even ahead of seeing my message, spoke up and said, wait a minute, because at some point his mic started working again, and they were able to then hear him. And Councilman Webb spoke up and said, should we go back and fix this? And the attorney says, no, it's okay. We could see him. Now, the rest of that meeting, his microphone would fade in and out, and sometimes we could hear his vote, sometimes we couldn't. That is completely wrong.
Yeah, Muncie's loosey-goosey with the rules, like doing things just like by Robert's rules, not like not voting to end meetings and Board of Work meetings and things like that. They don't care.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's
no rules for them.
So strange. Well, and I'll tell you, the other really sickening thing about this is they hurried through a vote for their officers. They were supposed to do that in January. They went ahead and jammed it into the meeting today. So we're stuck with Piper as president for another year. Just absolutely horrible. The council.
Who would you want to be president?
Bill Hughes.
Okay.
The man who ran the meeting last month when she was off fluffing the basketball team. What's it? No, what's that called? Cheering.
It's not called fluffing. That's a completely different thing.
Puffing them up. That's what I meant.
Yeah, cheering.
Puffing them up.
It's called cheering.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's what I meant.
Oh, he did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Yes, he did a great job. Yeah. The meeting was wonderful. He did not want it. He said, I've heard rumors that people were considering him, and he said, I will vote for Councilman Piper. I don't know if that's exactly how it went, but I heard it was really robotic. I don't know.
One of us.
Yes. Google gobble. So that happened. And then they voted to continue the services of this attorney who had gave them wrong information in the meeting. I'm like, no, he already gave you wrong legal advice. And then they voted to give him a 10% raise.
Whoa, that's huge.
10% raise without anybody asking how much he makes or how much 10% is. Nobody covered how much that is. 10%.
That's a pretty good question.
No one said anything. Here's the kicker. Just 2.5 months ago, do you remember you were watching the show when I actually had Councilman Ryan Webb on, and he was like, "Man, we're like at a really critical time. The budget's this. We got to try to make this. It's really bad. It's really horrible, and I don't know what we're gonna do." And they were really stressing. And 3 months ago, when this 10% raise was brought up, the council said there is no way we can do this. And then today, they voted it. It passed 6-1. Now, for everyone's benefit, I want to make very damn sure people are aware, Ryan Webb did not vote for this.
Dude.
He voted against it, and he questioned it. He was the only one to question it.
Well,
but the other 6 people.
I'll give him credit too. He was asking good questions on the what was it? They were trying to move a printer or something that was going to cost like 17 grand to move a printer to the other side of the office or something.
Yeah.
He's like, why are we spending this much to move? And that's what kills me with government is it's like, that's not my money. I don't care. Can you imagine if someone's like, oh yeah, your insurance is going to go up by 10%. You're like, you don't stop to think, wait, what does it cost now? Like, how much is 10%? You just go, okay, 10% is fine. No, you'd be like, how much is that? Well, shoot, I'm going to look at somebody else. I'm going to look at a different insurance company. Dude. They never treat our money like they would their own money. And that it drives me insane.
I understand that obviously the majority of the listeners are from the Indianapolis area, and I know that Kendall is from Brownsville or Brownsburg or whatever Browntown, wherever he's at that he always talks about his hometown. But if he would ever, he's got like a month that he's not going to be at work. He's off work for like the next month. I don't know what kind of work that is. I'm going to take vacation for the next month. But if Kendall would ever pay attention if I could ever get him to look at what goes on up here, he would shit himself. And this is all they would have a weekly segment on what's happening in Delaware County this week, because it's absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't even have the 10% increase in the budget for next year. He just says, Ryan Webb, a counselor on that council who voted no for this today. So they're going to have to figure that out. And the
budget they tried not to live stream. That budget. Oh, damn it.
We just had a systematic error there. What did you say? The budget?
I'm struggling. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, the budget they didn't want to live stream?
Yeah, right. They did not want to live. Yeah, right. That's absolutely correct. So, yeah, I don't know. It's fiscally irresponsible. So, I need to talk to Counselor Webb. I meant to do it today, but we were doing this. So I want to see if I can actually bring him on tomorrow. I don't know what your schedule is, Ryan. Get a hold of me tomorrow because I'd like to try to bring you on and talk about some of this because it's a big deal. So that's just a preview of what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. There are some other things that were going on. It's way wild. If you want to go back and watch this, you can find it on YouTube. All you got to do is type in Delaware County government, and you go to the county council meeting from today, December 12th, the 12/12 meeting, and you can see it. It's mind-blowing. It's a short meeting.
Yeah, just Google bullshit fiscal decisions, and you'll find it.
Yes, Delaware County government or bullshit fiscal decision, and it will pop up in the very first front section. So, yeah, Ryan, we'll schedule that and have you come on tomorrow, and we can kind of dissect some of this because it's absolutely wild. However, for those of you that are interested in hearing about some other completely asinine government,
mm-hmm. Did you hear the big news today?
No.
Dude, J.D. Prescott got a cat.
No way.
Yeah, if I could get it to show. It's not showing for some reason.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't get it.
Just please tell me the cat's name is Bangs.
Bangsy.
I didn't get it until I was like, what's the joke with this? I don't understand. Did he really get a cat? Why didn't you actually put the post? I mean, like, I know that you're like an animal lover. I don't like cats per se, but I'm like, okay, cool.
Well,
but
cats don't like you either.
Yeah, right. Then Kate started laughing, and I was like, okay, something's up here. And I looked, and that was killer. I love it. Amazing. So he didn't get he may or may not have got a cat, but he did here recently send out a survey, and you actually have a copy of that survey, right?
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that.
Well, wait. What were you going to talk about?
Well, no. The thing is, you said, okay. So what I mean by that is, you said I got a copy of the survey. So first, shit, it's not really covered. I got Travis Holdman's survey, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah, show
I'm going to
this.
fold it over so people can't see my information. Hold on.
Yeah.
So he sends me the survey. It's got like,
Can't really read it, but cutting
And
taxes.
Travis Goldman is who?
He's my senator.
Okay.
and then he sends out. Oops! Don't do that. Oh God, I think I just flashed it.
I didn't know
Anyways,
it.
And then and then it's got on there. It's got the survey, right, with all your questions.
Yep.
This is what JD Prescott sent.
I got my address covered, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yep.
And then that's the other side.
Okay.
So that's the survey he sent. There is no survey. It just says go online and take the survey.
Okay. Now, I got to be honest. I'm actually okay with that.
I'm not mad about it. I was just surprised. And you said, did I get the survey? I was like, well, technically, no.
Yeah,
I got
technically, I
a link
did.
to the survey.
So, I'm very interested. Oh my gosh, we have to point out just for a second, Jackie Fisher, welcome to YouTube.
Oh, she did it.
So happy. Look at this. Jackie Fisher came to YouTube. Didn't Freeman point out that the attorney contract was for the firm Beasley Gilkinson and not for Freeman personally? And that while that is true, Jackie, that was pointed out. However, he's primarily the only attorney that does work for him. I think there's only been a time or two that I've seen somebody else, and we can definitely get into that more tomorrow and look at that. And I also think it's weird who put that forward. We got to ask ourselves, obviously there's no conflict there because Bill's no longer an attorney, but that was his law firm. He's the one putting it forward. Just kind of a yucky feel all the way around. But yeah, he did mention that. You are correct. And we will explore all of that. But back to and welcome to YouTube. I feel so bad. You are free to watch this however you want to. If Facebook is your jam, I just feel like the only reason I've ever asked you that you like YouTube is because now you can see everybody else's comments. So
that is true.
That's the only thing. I feel like it's a better, it's like more of an experience because you can kind of comment with everyone else. But if you screw everybody else, I'll do it from Facebook. I'm fine with that too. So welcome, Jackie. But back to this survey. So, and I'll kind of let you take the lead here if you want to on this, but I always mess up because of the Led Zeppelin Celebration Day. I always want to say Celebration Day. It's not Celebration Day. It's Organizational Day.
Uh-huh.
They had Organizational Day the day after the election or the Friday after the election because that's when they start. So their pre-organizational stuff started in November. And so they're going through basically the steps to start their 2024 session because they get to work when I say work, I mean they get to work.
That's a loose term, yeah.
Yeah, they go and meet in rooms the first week of January, right?
Yeah.
And so talk to us a little bit about what happens now and what's been going on. Obviously, I think we've got a couple things to pull up here, but these surveys, they do these every year, correct?
Yes. So they do these surveys where you should typically get one from your senator and your representative. Usually, for instance, I got this one from my senator. There's 5 questions on there. We went over these last year, or I did. I came on an episode and kind of ranted on it for a while, and we kind of went over it question by question. Oh crap! I did flash. I didn't flash my address on there.
I didn't see it.
Me neither. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, so throw 5 questions on there, and I think my big gripe last year. I have several gripes with it, But one is they tend to put a lot of leading questions, put questions that no matter what you answer, it's going to favor what they want. I remember last year there was a question regarding like, are our high schools preparing our youth to enter the workforce? And it's like, no matter how you answer that, they're going to spin that how they want. Like, oh, they're not. Well, then we need to pump money into private schools because that's what we want to do. Or, oh, they aren't prepared. They are preparing them. Well,
they need less money. We need to pump money into private schools.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, they're already sufficient. We're good. So, they're always leading. Like, so Travis Holman's, for instance, his first question is, which one of the following do you think is the fairest tax for Hoosiers to pay? All taxation is theft. But it's like, is gas tax, income tax, property tax, or sales tax the fairest? How about none of the above?
I mean, that is such a weird question.
You want me to tell you which tax I want to pay the most? How about none of them?
The other thing about that's weird is, so I've always, so I said I've never got these. However, every year I always go online and I go to the my representative and my senator, and I take the survey online. I don't mind that they send these cards out. I like that they say, hey, we need to, you need to go here and take this online, direct these people to take online, because I think that very few people actually fill it out and stick that back in the mailbox. Nobody's doing that. Very, very few people are doing that. Now,
I've done that.
I would fill it out there. I would fill it out online. I go take other people's surveys from other areas, but a couple years ago, I noticed when JD had a question that I did not like, and this is the first time he and I had a falling out. Okay, we always talk about this. I called him to ask a question, and he started ignoring me. He did not want to answer me, and I got pissed off at him, and that's when he we really parted ways. I was like, what's the deal with this? I went online, and I noticed, because I went to all of the representatives, and I noticed that, okay, so first and foremost, the questions in the description of this, I wrote some of the surveys are some of the surveys are 3 questions long. Some of the surveys are 5 questions long. Some of them are 7 questions long, and there are some people who put on like 10 questions, and it's really, really amazing, for the people who go through that. And I guess I appreciate that. But what I noticed was a lot of these questions appear on all of their things. So that's always interesting when that happens, because it's like, they're not writing these questions up. These questions are put together for them, and they choose what they want on there.
Yeah, I'll also note that last year, I remember I looked at the one I got from Holdman in the mail, and it had 5 questions, and online it had like 15.
Yeah.
And also, look at this. Let me see if I can make it focus. Maybe I can. Okay.
Yes.
See right here where it says comments?
Yes.
This is where you get to put your comments. If you do it in writing. Dude, last year I did for my representative, J.D. Prescott, I went in there. Dude, it was like a freaking novel. It was like it was beautiful. It was epic. They'll give you, if I remember correctly, I think it was unlimited characters. I think I really pushed it. There might be a limit, but then you can really give your thoughts and opinions. But yeah, that's fun to try to focus. Yeah, that one line there, that's not doing it for me.
That is absolutely insane.
You want me to just write "good job, buddy" on that line? That's about all you could fit on there.
Hey, thanks for being so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for being so cool. So I want to show everybody. Now, in all fairness, this should probably only be filled out by the people from Indiana. However,
you're supposed to put in your name and address, I think.
Yeah, you're supposed to put your information in there. However, it's the internet, so I can't stop you from doing whatever. So you go to iga.in.gov, or you can just type in Indiana General Assembly, and this pops up. And so here's their website, and you'll see down here where it says find your legislator. So you click here, use the online forum or district map to locate information and contact details for your local legislator. You click on it. All right. So then this pops up, and you can either click over here on the map, or you can type in your street address or any of this information. So it says Senate, it says House, and it says Congress. Well, right now we're only talking about, this is the state Senate and this is the state House. So we're going to click right here on House, because we're talking about J.D. Prescott. So
you click straight on the map there. I think
you can. Yep. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click in J.D.'s district. I'm going to make it a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to click right here. Well, maybe not.
Okay.
I thought you could. That's a little shitty. All right, so we will select Winchester, okay, or wherever.
God,
I mean, you
Muncie's
can
a little
select
bitty
Albany.
district, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's because of the amount of that's Sue Arrington's district.
Yeah,
that's 34.
Soon to be Basham's.
That's hilarious.
My prediction: he's going to announce probably in the next couple weeks here that he's done with his counselor thing. He's running for House again.
Thank you, citizens of Muncie.
I'm glad I could serve you this entire. I didn't even go to the last meeting of the previous council.
Yeah, that's right. That's hilarious. Okay, here, let's go find Albany. All right, Albany. So you click that, and we'll hit search. Damn, they're really being Oak Street, Albany. Man, you got to actually type it in. Holy crap. All right, 318 South Meridian Street. Winchester. 473. 474. I've lived too many places by now. All right, so we've got Scott Alexander for Senate, J.D. Prescott for House District, and Jim Banks, Todd. So it shows us who pops up. So let's click on J.D. Prescott. Okay. Here's J.D. Prescott.
Now fight your gag reflex.
Yeah. 2024. Okay, this shows you all of his laws. This is not
all of his laws.
All of his bills that he's authored. And Brando has a really good video going through everything that he did in 2023, the bills, and Brandon's got that on there on our playlist if you go back and watch that.
Which mostly, spoiler alert, was him being that guy who shows up last day for the group project and says, "Hey, can I put my name on there too?"
Yes. Yes, that's exactly right.
I'm not working very hard, but I'm taking the whole paycheck.
Right.
So you click on his View Caucus page, right? Was that where you're going?
Is that what?
Yeah, you need to go back one and click on his View Caucus page.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Suck a big old caucus page. Okay.
Is it still showing here?
Yeah.
All right, we are. Oh, nope. Now I need to hop over here. All right, share this instead. Okay, so we get here. If you just typed in State Representative J.D. Prescott, you could get here as well, because down here it says,
I thought that's where it
take
says
my survey.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, take my survey is up here in the corner. So if you click on the take my survey, it then jumps you to another page that I need to jump to.
Jesus.
That's here.
Jesus.
I don't understand. Okay, so here we go. All right, you go in and you put in your name, blah, 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 your home address. And then here you've got, Would you support legislation that would restrict educators from advancing their political beliefs in the classroom and ensure ideological neutrality in Hoosier schools? Yes,
How do you
no,
do
or
that?
undecided. What?
How do you do that?
Yeah, right.
No, I'm like being serious. Like,
Yeah.
how do you do that?
Yeah.
Do you say that they're like the government fires them if anything they do implies some kind of political ideology?
Right. I mean, first of all, how's it monitored?
Yeah, how do you monitor that? Like, does a student just say, "Hey"? I could see that backfiring because the only teachers he talks to are like the conservative, like private school teachers who are going to be like the ones who are going to be advancing their political beliefs.
Right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I just don't know how you enforce that. It's he's an idiot.
It would, that's very strange. And all of his school involved bills that he put forward in like 2022 really worked out for him well. So I would tell him to stay on that path.
Yeah, it goes really well. It doesn't result in him storming out of a meeting crying like a little baby.
Number 2, would you support redesigning high school instruction to allow students to complete their graduation requirements using more hands-on options, including work-based learning and applied learning opportunities, as well as youth apprenticeships?
They already do that.
I mean, it's like JD's like a representative from like the 1900s.
Yeah, he doesn't. That's the thing that's dangerous with him is he knows just enough to get in trouble. Like, he doesn't understand what's happening in the schools.
Yeah.
Like, if you remember that town hall, there are teachers like, JD, you don't understand how my classroom works. I invite you anytime. Come in and see how it works. And he's like,
yeah,
I would go out back and cry.
Now,
it's like you don't understand education, JD, because you barely have one.
Right. That's the problem is he... if you look at all of basically everything he's done, like, you're like, wait a minute, is this guy a farmer or was he a teacher? Like, it's bizarre how education focused he is.
Yeah, like, he doesn't focus on. I'll give him credit. His expertise should be in agriculture, right?
Yeah, right.
But he doesn't really focus on that. He like tries to like screw everything else up that he doesn't understand.
It's very
strange.
Play
to your strengths, bro.
Yeah. It's very strange that he does not do that, that he's not, like when Rust is talking, for in that lawsuit that I was talking about last night, he's like, I was supporting agriculturally minded candidates. Mm-hmm. You would think that JD would be somebody like that. And I will say that he has put forward a couple of those things, and he's been involved with a few, but it's not been the focus of his time in office. Like, he's done a lot of education.
The big one he did for the ag was supporting them cutting the property taxes for them.
Yeah.
Increasing that cap on personal property for farmers from 20,000 to 80,000. Right?
Yeah.
And freaking out every county commissioner in the state. So
which wasn't even his bill, though.
That benefit him directly.
No, yeah, he just jumped on it.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
No, I'm with you, Kate.
Yeah. Yes. Very, very weird. So that's it's just strange that he does that. This number 3 is very interesting to me because he has it on here. Straight ticket voting allows voters to select political party instead of casting an affirmative vote for individual candidates. Do you support or oppose straight ticket voting? Now, there are several representatives and senators who have this question on their surveys.
Really?
Yeah. There are.
I actually like that question, but
there are several. But the answer is, what are they going to do with this? And like Kate says, nothing. It's just
correct.
For show.
Yeah.
They're just putting on here. But the other weird thing is they've got this survey, and you've got how long to turn the survey in? Do you know? It doesn't. Oh, the survey deadline for completing the deadline for completing the survey is December 31st.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So if you want to do this, you have to have it in by the 31st. For Senate, it's like you've got a couple extra days for the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
What's really interesting though with all of this is their plan for what they're going to do for 2024 is already put together.
Yeah.
That's what's so weird about this. It's like,
it's
why
very
not?
strange.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the point of this?
To waste taxpayer money sending out millions of mailers?
Yeah, of flyers that that's put out by that same group that also helps them when they are running.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joey. I don't know if they're hoping that like there'll be goofy people answering it who are like, "Oh yeah, that makes it so easy. I don't have to use my brains when I vote. I just push one button and then go eat my McRib." Or I don't know what they're thinking, because everyone should oppose that. It's stupid. It's lazy voting, and it protects the status quo instead of people putting actual thought into who they vote for. I'm sorry if it's just, that just frustrates me. Straight ticket voting is so frustrating.
It is.
It gets incompetent candidates in there who get votes for no reason other than they have a letter behind their name.
John Sproles was a straight party sheriff.
Yeah.
John Mark, excuse me. John Mark.
John Mark, yeah.
Is the sheriff because of straight party voting.
We have Mike Pence's brother, and we got John Mark.
Now, while we were talking, I went and I looked at Scott Alexander's survey. Scott Alexander's survey says that you have until January 2nd. The deadline for completing this is January 2nd.
Okay.
And so if you click on this,
that's the same first question that Holdman has.
Yep, that's interesting.
That is also a question that is on Travis Holdman's survey, that second one.
Okay. Which one of the following is most important to me to focus on as your state senator?
That is also, hold on a second. That is on JD's.
Okay.
But not as state senator.
Yeah. And then what do you have?
Open-ended.
Yeah, that's open-ended, which is always interesting. Fuel taxes are the main source of road funding in Indiana. As more people buy electric vehicles, those drivers are not paying fuel tax to fund our roads. Which one of the following options do you think is the fairest way to ensure electrical vehicle drivers contribute to Indiana's road funding? Did they not think about this when they were jamming these ignorant electric cars down our throats?
Christopher, you just said thinking and legislators in the same sentence. You silly boy, you.
That's hilarious to me.
You silly fellow, you. Of course they weren't thinking when they did that.
Just absolutely nuts.
Tolling's insane. Because how do you capture that? Like, I go through tolls never times a year.
Right.
Track the number of miles each one drives. That's kind of psychotic, Big Brother.
Yeah, right.
How much each electricity uses. That's kind of insane as well. I guess A is the only one that's not insane. Or completely useless.
I don't reckon I'm ever going to buy an electrical vehicle.
And then you just... Okay, go ahead. You got a little sling blade. I reckon I'm not going to buy one of them electric wheels.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, this one was on JD's too.
Should Indiana change our high school diploma requirements so students can do more on-the-job learning and spend less time in classroom?
Yeah, we're just looking at that one.
Support or oppose requiring websites with pornographic content to verify the age of users so that children can't... Wow.
Yeah. What, you want them to like have to do the stupid credit card spammers that other people I've heard of had to use in the 90s?
That's hilarious.
Oh,
How would you rate the availability and affordability of childcare in your community? What do you think is the most important issue facing state of Indiana? Ooh, another open-ended. Oh, and the comments.
I kind of like the open-ended because, he's like
Yeah.
got 3 opportunities where they're really gonna have to read through those and think about it. But then AZ, I don't know. That's a lot of. Well, I don't know how many people fill these out.
I would be interested to know. I would really like. I'm gonna have to try to find somebody that I trust. You know, it would be interesting to ask Nisley. Maybe I could message Nisley and say, how many of these surveys did you really get back? I'd be interested to know. Nisley probably got a lot back, and Nisley probably read through them.
Yeah, Nisley's pretty cool. He's pretty straightforward, dude.
You know,
I bet he'd answer you.
Oh yeah, sure. I would have no problem with that. I'm sure he would. But it's interesting to me, you know, someone like Nisley compared to JD Prescott. You know, JD Prescott's got somebody in his office reading through this, and JD don't care.
No, he doesn't give a crap, dude.
They do not care.
Well, last time it's time before last he did surveys, they were not posting the results, and so we put in a public access request to get the results, and then finally they're like, check the website, it's on there now. And I think we also requested the number of people that answered. I'd have to look at that again.
Yeah, did you? When was that? When that was in 2022?
Yeah, it would have been 2022.
The years kind of, unless I can look at pictures in my phone, tell what was going on when, years kind of blend together like that. But yeah, so that would have been 2022. They use big words, so he can't understand them anyway. How do you read that? There aren't any pictures in it. How do you read that? There aren't any pictures in it. I like that.
Come here, Bangsy. Can you read this? I don't know if you remember, but you remember when good old Lisa Teal's newspaper did that super special event where JD was afforded his own special article during the election to answer any questions so he wouldn't have to answer them in a public forum because he's scared of voters. And they did that whole thing for him because Lisa Teal protects her buddies in the political party.
Yeah.
I managed to sneak a question through, and my question was, why do you even send out these surveys if they don't reflect any of your legislation? And JD answered, well, there are many ways that I gather information from voters to make my decisions. It's like, well, what ways are those? Because I've been in town halls and people are completely disagreeing with our legislation. None of your legislation has anything to do with your surveys. So why are you spending all of our taxpayer money to even send these out if you don't give a crap?
It's frustrating because it's like they send these out year after year after year after year, and my biggest issue is before they ever send these out, their legislative. I mean, like, okay, so is what they sent out this year? Is it going to go into what they do next year? Because their legislative now. That doesn't mean that they can't do something based off of something that they would get.
Yeah, they could vote based off of it, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure, absolutely. But, you know, it's just interesting that they've already, you know, they know what they're going to do. You know, they're already saying that we should all expect a tamer 2024 session because they've had 3 difficult years. You know, anybody that thinks anything major is going to happen this year, relax. It's an election year. These people are up for election, so they're not going to be doing, you know, anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I have a thought. Excuse me. I have a thought on that as well. In that, it's funny. The election year is the year, of course, that they're. What is it he's saying now, that they're only going to allow 5 bills to be submitted in the Senate?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to kind of take it easy and try to get done early because they know it's an election year. And that's the funny thing. During election year, you can't, while you're in session, you can't really take donations and whatnot. So it makes it really hard for them to campaign. So they'll freaking, election years, they kind of phone it in and just try to get out of there as soon as possible so they can try to get reelected. They don't really care about working for the people during an election year. They care about getting reelected.
It's really disgusting. Like Kate's doing. It's all about the money. And what's so frustrating about that is they've got a 2-year cycle. They're only working. And so last year, how long did session last? January to April?
Something like 12 weeks maybe or something. 12-ish.
So 12 weeks out of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, it'll last from January to...
Maybe end of February.
End of February. Yeah, I think in 2022, they were done...
Early March, right?
They were done I keep in my mind, when I was thinking about this earlier today, I want to say that I think that they were done on the 14th or 15th. I don't know what the 14th or 15th of March would have been, but that number keeps popping up in my head. And I want to say, or maybe the 13th, March might have been a Friday the 13th, and they might have been done the Thursday or whatever before that. They were joking. There were some jokes about that, but they are done in late February, early March. And so it's it's such a joke. These people already are working very, very, very part-time. And for this to be a short year on top of that is a joke.
Let's work 10 weeks and then collect our $70,000+ and our insane benefits and just block you all on Facebook the rest of the year, and then go around to Republican events, sniffing our own farts, sniffing each other's farts, pretending that everything we do is that we're better than everyone else, basically. Politicians aren't people.
Politicians aren't people. That's something that we need to remember. I think some connection of Brandon's always reminds him that politicians aren't people. And I think that's really good. That's really good. Now, Mike Jones would hear that and he would be like, oh, you guys are being negative, hurtful. You're being hurtful and negative for no reason. Okay. I mean, you got me.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. And then now these are the same people here that put that law in place so that people could not run against them and beat them when we felt that they weren't doing the right thing during the pandemic. And so a lot of people got mad. Now, I don't know if you heard last night or not, but I sent out questionnaires to the county party chairs, and a party chair responded back to me and told me that she had heard that law went into effect because someone had ran against the husband of a state representative, and it was a prosecutor, and someone had ran against the state representative's husband. And so because of that, they put this law. That's why the law went in place. And I thought that's interesting because I've never heard that story. It was
a very specific event that prompted the whole thing.
And I think that's really interesting. And I think I can do some work behind the scenes and try to get more information about that, because I would love to know who it was. I mean, obviously we know who was the author of the bill.
Yeah.
I've got that information, so I guess it'd be interesting to know, is that person's husband a prosecutor? We that would pretty much tell us. That would be.
Was Wesco the author?
Is that Timothy?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have a husband
that you know of.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that I think Wesco was the author.
Oh, okay.
So I do think you're right. So it would be interesting to. So I don't know what the deal is there, but the person. I mean, it was Anna Quirk Hunter that said that. Everybody can go back and look at that show last night. It's not like I'm hiding that secret.
Oh.
And I just don't think that Anna is not somebody I think that would just say that. Like, I feel like she knew what you know what I mean? Or had some kind of, at least she thought. So that's interesting. But it might not have been Wesco, but it might have been someone connected to it. But that's very interesting.
It's such a cowardly move, though. It's like, Jim Banks, you're that scared of Russ that, like, you guys have to do all these lawsuits and, like, tie up all of our taxpayer money to make sure that we don't have a choice between the two of you.
Right.
It's freaking gross.
Right. Well, and the thing is, that law, I was talking to someone today that said, I don't even like how it was beforehand. I don't like even having to do one primary. Like, it should be, I put my name on a ballot and say I'm a Republican, and it's my job to try to get you to understand that I'm a Republican. And if you don't feel like I am, then you don't vote for me. You vote for the other guy or the other girl. And I can respect that. That kind of thinking, because it's like, well, you get rid of 2 primaries. Why not just get rid of that one primary? Because it doesn't say that in the Constitution. If two are Senator
Hoochin
put that in the bill. That's interesting. Okay. That's right. So Wesco put the bill forward, but she is right about that.
Yeah, he's a big defender of it. So let me put something forward.
That
I already forgot what I was going to say. So to play devil's advocate, Wesco, for example, argued that by not letting you run for a certain party doesn't deny you the constitutional right of running for office, but it does deny you the ability to run under the party with which you identify. But allow me to ask you a question.
Okay.
Who pays for the primary?
This is what's always killed me. And we've answered this question before when you've talked about getting the party data.
Mm-hmm.
The walking information. And so this is what's so frustrating, because there's someone very close to me that I have this argument with, because the primaries are considered party primaries, but yet they're put on by the state, by the counties, by the cities, by the towns, and tax dollars go to those. Citizens' tax dollars fund these, and it's lots of money.
And they get to tell us who those candidates can be, even though we're the ones paying for those elections. Would be my argument. I think that's absurd.
It is.
If we're paying for it, then why does this elite group get to tell us who can be on that ballot?
Yeah.
When they're not, if they want to pay for that election out of whatever fundraising they do, then I guess they can do whatever they want. As long as the taxpayers are paying for it, they need to follow the law. They need to be constitutional. They need to follow the Constitution.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I've always wondered that, because if that's the same thing, because it's getting paid for by tax dollars, and so that's I don't know. I agree with you 100% on that, and so it should, if it's getting paid for by the citizenry, by the state.
See, now you're going to set me off on another rant, because you brought up the data in Delaware County. It's one of the few counties where, it's the only one I know of in our district, that they allow the party chairs to determine who can and cannot access public data when it pertains to voter rolls.
And what is it that you're talking about?
What is it I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about Isaac Miller telling people that they can't have the data because the party said no, that you need to ask Ed Carroll or Victor Whitehead for permission. If he tells you no, then you can't have public data. Somehow, this data that they did not pay for, you're not allowed access to unless they give you permission.
And
based on no laws or ordinances, based on them trying to figure it out in a Board of Works meeting in like the 90s, that they never, no election board meeting, sorry, in the 90s, where they never actually came up with a decision. They're using minutes from that meeting to deny people access to voter paid for data, or citizen paid for data, I guess is more appropriate. And that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Ryan Webb, you got to look at that. Go yell at somebody if you're listening.
Yeah. That is absolutely a wild thing. So what he's talking about is there was a candidate that he was working for, and they were trying to get data, the specific data, and they went to the clerk's office. And at that time, you guys know the name of Isaac Miller. Isaac Miller was, for a very short period of time, an appointed replacement to Councilman Brad Polk. Brad Polk was a Muncie City councilor. He's the guy that's got just, something like I feel really bad for him with what's going on with his hair. I don't know what's going on. It's really bad. But he left his seat on the Muncie City Council to take the treasurer's position in the county, and Isaac Miller became the councilman. Well, Isaac Miller, for a period of time, worked in the Delaware County Clerk's office, and he's the one that told Brandon this, and it wouldn't have been Isaac's decision. It would have been...
No, it's not him, but he's the one who told us.
He's the one that told you, and they were just, I'm sure, very smug about it. But it's that fact that they feel like they have a right to say that to you, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is, in my opinion, public documents.
Yeah.
And I cannot understand. Now, when you went to other counties, what was your experience in getting it?
They would say, what all do you need? All right, it costs whatever cents a page, or you can take pictures or whatever, just like you would any public access document. Winchester, Jay County, I think were both that way. Muncie was not. Delaware County was not, I should say, not Muncie. Delaware County was not. Jay County and Randolph County, it's the same as any other records request. He treated it as any other records request. For the public data. Mind you, like, parties will also do their own, like, data, right? Where they'll collect data, they'll pay for data, they'll pay for people to process data. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To do some kind of processing on it. I understand that's theirs if they paid for that.
But
that's not public data.
The clerk's office wouldn't have that.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
That would be the party has it in a vault in the back of their room, or up someone's butt in a basement somewhere. That's not something that the clerk's office would have. So the records that you were requesting are somewhere in the clerk's office in the county building, being locked up in a room that's paid for by tax dollars, that's being mined by people who are getting paid tax dollars to work there. And they were like, no, so-and-so down the street who is a, wannabe power hungry, insane person is telling me that I can't give this to you because it's their data.
Yeah, you need Ed Carroll's permission to see that data per the current rules.
That's insane. What rules?
It's not even a rule. It's not. I don't believe it's an official ordinance or anything. I think they're relying on minutes from an election board meeting in, like, I think it was like the 90s. It was an old meeting.
Yeah.
Where they were like, "Oh, should we allow access to this? We'll table it," and it was like tabled and never addressed again. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think because we spent some time looking for that, and I think you are correct, and that is, it's something that's real. It's really gross. and to be honest, it's amazing that the other parties haven't done the same thing. I'm really amazed that Randolph County and Jay County and others have been so forthcoming with it, because to me, most of their chair people are very similar to Delaware counties, and they're very, gatekeeper like, and so it's crazy to me that they,
Yeah, I don't know if they don't have anything to rely on to deny it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Muncie is like, or Delaware County, sorry, is relying on a very loose history to kind of try to make sense of that.
That's very crazy. I hate that. I've always hated that. It makes me so mad every year. And every time there's someone, there's a guy right now that's thinking about running who's been messaging me, and he's like, how do I get this data? And I'm like, well, this data you can get this way, this way, this way. And then they're like, well, how do I get this? And I'm like, you can go and try to fight with the clerk's office about it, but other than that, you can try and fight with Ed Carroll about it, but you're going to have to I
actually did some research into this and looking at the rules. If the county chair denies you access to it and you are a candidate for office, you can write to the state and attach that, that they've denied you access, and the state can provide it.
The problem with the state data is that from my experience, the state gave you the state data, which was such a massive Excel file that the computer we had was incapable of opening it.
Jesus.
Shit.
Because it had data, like they don't sort or filter it for you. Like, can I have the data for Delaware County? Like, here's the data.
Yeah.
Boom, Indiana, and then you have to figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But you are correct, Kate. I believe you are correct.
It's just stupid.
It's really frustrating. I mean, Kate is right in that, but it's just more work, and that's what they're hoping on. I mean, that's what Catherine's had to deal with that over in Madison County, and it's so many people have had to deal with that. It's really, really flipping frustrating. It's really crazy.
How'd you make that happen, Catherine? I'm curious about that. Or Dr. C.
How did she make it happen? Is that what you ask?
Yeah, she said she forced Russ to cough it up. I'm curious how she did that.
Pushed him up against the counter and held a scalpel. She's like, scalpel.
Time for dissection.
Yeah, right. No, that was my own.
But it all kind of ties into what you're talking about yesterday. It's a lot of the incumbent protection program, right? Like they're trying to do everything they can to maintain power and not let people that they don't want to run, stop them from being able to run. It's freaking ridiculous.
That is a great title for an episode.
The incumbent protection program?
Yes. So she wrote us to the state and filed a complaint. So
there you go.
You gotta be willing to fight and go around this. And a lot of people, they get so in election mode and they're like, all right, screw it, I'm not gonna fight this, I'm just gonna go at it. But some of the stuff, it's like I was watching a YouTube channel earlier that's talking about how to get how to make viral videos and how to get more views and whatever. When you're a YouTube content creator and you do that, I noticed in my like front page, the For You page or whatever, there's like a lot of these contents. They're like, read this, look at this. And I was looking at one earlier and he was just talking about like, the different ways that people can do it. And he broke it up into different titles, but he said, part of some of this is having that special something that is just an unfair advantage. And that's exactly what this is. I mean, if you're John Doe who says, I'm tired of what's happening to me and my family, I'm tired that everything costs so damn much, and I'm tired of these people, doing nothing. I want to run like the founding fathers planned on, you don't have the unfair advantage. You are the odd man out. If you go in and you're willing to kiss ass and everybody likes you, if they don't have the wonder star in a seat someplace, maybe they'll like you. But chances are you're going to go in and they're going to say, no, you need to pay your dues. And by paying your dues means you need to be in the party and you need to kiss ass for, 4 or 5 years. And, and it's like, no. I just want to run for office.
Yeah, they don't like that. They do not like that. They want to know that they can trust that you'll do what you tell them to do.
Yeah. People need to record conversations. That's something I cannot get people to understand. I cannot get people to understand the importance of recording conversations. Now, I want to be very clear about what I'm getting ready to say here. We are not attorneys. There's the disclaimer. We're not attorneys. We cannot offer legal advice. When I talk about this and I say in the state of Indiana, it's a one-party consent state, so you can record anybody that you are in a conversation with, whether they want you to or not, whatever, and it's legal. Okay, that's legal. For everybody else, this is what I've always said. This is not legal advice. Just take it for what I'm saying. As long as you're not using it for, ill-gotten reasons, I've always said I would record people to protect myself no matter where I am. In my opinion, it's a protection. As long as you're not trying to use it in court, it's not like you're breaking the law. Now, I'm not 100% sure. In some states, you might be. So check with your attorney. But I'm telling you, I don't care where I lived. You can do anything you want as long as you're willing to pay the consequences for it. I would protect myself, and I always record. When I'm talking to people that I don't specifically know, and it might be something hinky, people always use that against me. I was looking at something that Mary Stilts sent me long ago, and she's like, do your viewers know that you record them? I'm like, I don't record my viewers. I don't talk to my viewers very frequently. But if I'm talking to someone that I don't know, and they're giving me information or whatever, I will record. Now, I don't record everyone that I talk to, but that was mostly when I was starting out. But if I think I'm talking to someone that's got something that can somehow hurt me, hell yes, I'm going to record you. That's insane.
Well, be careful doing it at legislative updates because your doofus legislator will call the police on you and waste taxpayer money.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, you guys understand the Constitution.
In my opinion, as long as you're... Oh, were you on property?
Was I on property?
On private property? Were you at their house? So
not at their house, no.
Oh, okay. Well, that's see, in my opinion, if you were recording, there's nothing they could have done. No. But specifically, if you're like at the J Center or whatever, because like JD never likes that. But yeah, that JD's such. Which
is why he tried to move his legislative updates to private property, thinking he could skirt allowing people to record his public legislative updates. And he's an idiot because that doesn't work.
That's such a thing. It's such a weird thing. And the deal with Josh, it still pisses me off. The deal with now I think the legislative update, in my opinion, is a little bit different than like a political fundraiser or a political party. I mean,
the nature of it's very different.
Yeah,
the nature of that's very different.
If you're having what's called a legislative update and you're telling me I can't be here for it and I can't record that,
it's not a legislative update.
Screw you. You know what I mean? Like that is nuts. There's no way that can be upheld. If I'm not causing a scene and me just standing there quietly with a camera is not a scene, that is not what I'm referring to. So I think that's crazy. And I'm going to test JD on that. I'm sure that JD feels in this situation, the last deal with Josh, that he got like a victory of sorts because the police escorted him out. And now he's going to maybe feel emboldened that his next time he goes to the Kennedy Library or he goes to the J Center, if he ever does that again, you have a belief that like he's not going to debate and he's done with all of that.
He's done in public. I mean, his Facebook page, he's blocking the crap out of anybody who questions him even slightly. He's done.
And if the citizens can vote for that time and time again,
that's
then to hell with you. That's what you get. Like, I guess you guys get it. It's disgusting that we have to deal with your bullshit.
Yeah.
If people are okay with someone who does that. Yeah, and it is probably good to say Audie made it out of surgery okay. He did come out of surgery okay. His knee, I think he's up and walking already. So he's good there. The other thing I wanted to say, I wanted to bring this up because I looked it up at the same time Kate looked it up. Dustin Houchin was a prosecutor in their area in Washington County. And that's the husband of Aaron. So if she put that language in there because somebody ran against him, ooh, that's gross.
I think it would be more likely she included the language because one of her primaries, there were 9 Republicans on that ballot.
Really?
Yes. 9 Republicans on a primary ballot.
Well, they can't all be Republicans.
Everywhere. That would be amazing if every single ballot I had 9 candidates for a primary.
That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing. Actual choices. God forbid people have actual choices.
Dude, listen, Muncie and Delaware County used to be that way. Like it really used to be that way. And it is so sad that it's not that way anymore. And it's really scary to me.
People have accepted that primary crap for so long, though, and even on the national level. Like, remember when Hillary Clinton was running, it was like her and Bernie and like 2 people who no one will ever remember their names ever.
Yeah.
But like, they did everything they could to rig that for Hillary Clinton. Like, Bernie Sanders basically had to like sue and file a complaint, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz had to step down for like basically rigging the primary for the Democrats, and everybody's just accepted it. I mean, we've been complaining about the Republicans a lot. Democrats do the same thing. It happens at state and national level. In all fairness, in that election, I'm not a big Trumper. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're loving Trump." The thing that I liked about Trump in that election was that the Republicans had like a dozen candidates.
Yeah.
And they clearly wanted Jeb Bush.
Yeah.
And they wanted to rig it for Jeb Bush, and it didn't work. That's what I liked about it. It's like the Republican Party was so pissed that Donald Trump won that because they didn't want him. That's what I liked about it. That I liked the party getting a slap in their stupid faces.
And I don't understand why people can't get that. Like, you can say, I don't like things that Trump says. I don't like things that Trump does. I think that Trump hurts himself far more than anybody else hurts him a lot of times and things like that. And the fact that people don't understand that was the appeal in a lot of ways is the fact that he was able to put them in their place. It was like, yes, that was satisfying.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why people don't get that.
Yeah, and I saw that too, Joey Simpson, the Democrat Party saying that they're not going to allow any primaries against Biden, any debates or anything.
Yeah, what?
What's his name? God, what is his name? Robert Kennedy?
Kennedy.
Jr.?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's trying to run, and the Democrat Party does not like that because he's not toeing the line. And I think he's an interesting candidate. I don't know if he's a great candidate, but he's definitely interesting. I'd like to hear more of what he has to say. I'd like to see them debate.
Well, it's like on Monday, Kendall and Casey had John Rust on and was talking to him because on Friday, like I think I literally their Friday, all Friday they were in telethon mode, so like they didn't cover any like real news. And I was like, yes, I broke this. I was like the biggest political people out here breaking this news Thursday, and I like that was amazing. But so they had Rust on Monday, and I like that Rob was like, I don't know if I like you as a candidate. We've not even got there.
Yeah.
I like that you're doing this. And I was like, yes, that is very true. I mean, it could have been, it could have been anybody that would have been willing to sue them and change this. My whole thing about that wasn't about the candidate. It was about the judge and the attorneys involved. And so like, it's like, we should be allowed to vet the candidates ourselves. You shouldn't do that for us.
Yeah, we don't need a party to pick for us.
Yeah, that's really stupid in my opinion. So I don't know. Hopefully that law will remain and this appeal is doesn't go anywhere, or the Supreme Court will uphold the trial court because Indiana really needs it. I think that their attorney did such a good job at laying that case out, and that the lower court did such a good job, and he didn't just pick one reason or two reasons. He picked like three reasons, and then like one of the reasons he picked like two reasons within that one reason. So even if they, strike down one or two, there's still three things that they could side with that, could be beneficial. And depending on when they hear it, this has the ability to cause a whole lot of chaos in this next election.
That'd be awesome. It just frustrates me because you go back and you look at all these challenges and you realize if it holds up that, yeah, basically what you guys were all doing. That's what frustrates me is I've always identified as Republican. I always vote Republican primary, all this stuff. The problem is this party right now in Indiana isn't a Republican party, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, they're not doing anything to lower taxes, really. They're paying lip service. They're not doing anything they say they want to do.
Yeah.
Or that the Republican Party would say. So it's like, that's why I'm so frustrated with them. And then they try to hold on to the status quo and these ideals that are counter to what the Republican Party would say they represent.
Right.
And that's what's frustrating me. And that's what's ridiculous. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's why I push back against it so much, and why I hate all this incumbent protection crap, all this trying to pick our candidates for us. They're just trying to keep on the status quo and answer to the big money and whoever's really pulling the strings.
Absolutely. And the thing is, we need more elected officials speaking out about it and being, on the record. And, like him or not, Ryan Webb spoke at the end of the council meeting today on a meeting that's live feed. We had a socialist. We had a state senator that was in the meeting today and heard what he said. And he spoke to that. He spoke, about needing to defeat the gatekeeper politics and just all of this stuff. It's already so hard for people to run. Yeah. And it's such a daunting process for people to be involved that we don't need to make it any more harder. We don't need to make it harder for people to run and do things that put in other gates and other doors that are locked that people have to bust down and kick through. It's complete and utter bullshit.
Well, and then when we do get in the good people like Nisley, or we've got Larissa Sweet in there right now, but like Nisley, they're like, oh nope, he's doing the things he said he was going to do. We need to destroy him. We need to do everything we can, like, to get him and Jacob out. And then Larissa Sweet's fighting the good fight. We need to get some more support for her in there, but it's tough. The people that stand up for things like this or stand up to the party at all They tried to destroy him. They're not having it.
That's the thing. You know, Ryan Webb is 1 of 6, or Troy Ingram was 1 of 9. Could you imagine being like
1 of
Larissa,
like 50? Yeah,
and
1 of
being
100.
being 1 of 100 or 1 of 50.
Yeah.
And these, it's not just these people, it's these people's friends, it's the hangers on, it's the office staff, it's the, you know, the people behind the scenes. You know, it's how gross all of those people are and all of the weird shit they do. And it's like, you know, if you're like that, they put your office down in like the worst part of the building. They don't let you on any committees. They do everything they can do to browbeat you and to, you know, let you know how bad you suck.
Yeah, and then they pay for the mailers in the next election saying, look at what all they didn't accomplish because we didn't let them.
Right.
And give your opponent $1 million or whatever it was they spent to get Nisley and Jacob out.
Dude.
It's like, dude, how is that even worth the money? Even if Jacob and Nisley were like the worst representatives ever, it was 2 voices out of there. And they were so scared of him, they spent like $1 million. What was it? It was over $1 million to get him out.
It was disgusting.
It's like, let him sit. Just let him sit there. It's really worth that much money.
It was so, let them sit there. But that shows the power of, you know, truth and justice in the American way. And that light, they're so afraid that it spreads. And they're like, we cannot allow for this.
I think that was part of the impetus in leaving that language in this bill. They just spent all of that money to get rid of those 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you have that bill, you don't even have to worry about half of these people even being on the ballot. They're saving money.
My whole thing is, it's like, okay, yeah, that's true. But, you know, for representatives, you're only talking about a 2-year turnaround. I'm right. I'll do the 2 years. I'll put in my 2 primary ballots, and then you can't touch me. You know, I'm coming for you. You know, 2 years is 2 years, and it's a pain in the ass. And, you know, depending on where it falls with that, you know, the off year, you might, you know, it's even longer. But, you know, if someone's really, if somebody is really adamant about that, that's what I guess bugs me. It's the fact that if you got a grouping of people together, it's not that hard to get a network of people together talking that are like-minded, that are whatever. And you could get people in this district and to network with this district and say, okay, we're going to put this long plan in place and we're going to go. People do that shit for fantasy football and for all of this other crap, but they will not take the time to do it for this. Yeah. And that's frustrating to me.
Yeah. Yep. Here's the candidate that I want. I want the candidate who goes in there and says, I don't care what the party wants. I care what the people want. Yep. If the party wants what the people want, I'm more than willing to work with the party. I don't care about the money. This is a service job. I will donate my money back to the community. I want to see that the pay of these people, these legislators, is reduced to the average amount of pay of the residents of your community. So I don't understand why any legislator should be making, for 12 weeks of work or 16 weeks of work, more than anyone in their community who's working a full year's work. That would motivate them to do what is best to drive up the quality of life for the people in their district, and to just do all the things that they say they would do. But those people never get anywhere.
I know.
Exactly. Audie, there you go. Audie caught me before I even finished what I was saying.
Brandon, people who say that and mean it don't get elected. The problem is because they're doing it as one person. They need a network. I am past the point of saying that one man. Listen, Ryan Webb was one person and he got himself elected as one person and he busted his ass. That's fewer and far between. That can happen. You can have lightning in a bottle. In my opinion, you need a network of people, and it might not be people that's like right there next to you. It might be somebody like Joey said, I found you guys. Hello there, Alva. We're just about done, brother. You'll have to go back and watch it.
Alva.
On the flip side.
Wear my hat for it and everything, Alva. What's going
on? But it takes a network of people. You cannot do it. And the other thing is it's not something that you can start. You can't start now and put your name in January, the deadline in February, and win the election in May. You need to start last year. You need it. It takes time. It takes time. I don't know. I believe that. You gotta play. You gotta play the long con.
Yeah, it takes a long time to get your name out there.
I mean, listen with Audie. I'm telling you, I've said this a lot. Audie's ran 4 times. In my opinion, this was his first actual election. This was his first election where he had name recognition. He was out there. He had some party support. And now he builds on where he is here and he goes forward. I think Audie could win a district race.
I just love at the end of the day how involved Audie is. Every time I love whenever you're watching clips of like, oh, let's look at this old council meeting, and you see frickin' Audie sitting right there every frickin' time.
Every time.
Let's play Where's Audie? Oh, almost always in that exact same seat. Let's beat some to it. But I love it.
Yeah, screw up one time and your name will get out there.
Well, that's true too.
That is true. All I did was bring the gun to it. Never mind. Anyways, but yeah, I'm telling you, yeah. Hey, before we go, I want to ask you one last thing. This is a kind of a throwback, kind of an old throwback to the Bastard days.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Jones was reinstated on X on Twitter.
No kidding.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts about that?
That's interesting, man. Freaking Elon Musk has been going nuts with X and everything, dude. It's hilarious. Yeah. It's kind of a train wreck and it's amazing to watch. Did you see dude, my dad told me to watch it that day. Did you see that interview where they're asking Elon Musk his thoughts on the people who said they weren't gonna advertise on Twitter or whatever?
Yes.
And what was it he said?
Yeah, he said, go fuck yourself. Didn't he say? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, to those people,
if you're gonna blackmail me, go fuck yourself. Go fuck you or something like that.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
And I'm like, dude, I can get that.
That's hilarious.
I love it. I'm right behind him on that. I think it was brilliant. So I was really, really shocked. And I'm going to have a conversation with Rob Kindle about this. I've talked about him a lot this episode. It's weird. I'm going to message him. He's on break for the next month, so hopefully I'll get this done. So a couple things. First of all, Elon Musk and a bunch of people on X did this podcast, not a video YouTube thing. There's no video of this. I wish there was, but you can go on X and Twitter and listen to this. They did this interview with Alex Jones, and they talked to him before, like he was he was reinstated, and then like 6 hours later they did this interview, and it was like a 2-hour-long interview. I haven't listened to it yet. I want to go back and listen to it. But Tucker had him on the other day. Have you seen that?
No.
Tucker did an interview with Alex Jones, and I sat there. I've watched the interview now twice, and I the whole time I was watching it, I was like, it was insane. And the best thing about it is watching Tucker's face, because Tucker's face was doing the same thing for the entirety of the interview. Now, Alex Jones wasn't like Alex Jones. He wasn't over the top, you know. Alex Jones is very much, you got to know who he is. He's not a straight news guy. He's not even an opinion guy, in my opinion. He is an infotainment. What?
Insane guy?
And he's definitely insane. He brings information, but it's a level of entertainment, you know, that I think if you're into that type of thing. I'm not saying that he's entertaining. That's what I'm considering him as. So a lot of, like, it can be an act, but there can still be real information that he's bringing. So there are things that I think that he has said that's just completely nuts. He's absolutely completely nuts on. There are things that he said that I do not agree with at all. Now, I still, though, believe he should have a place to say those things. And I believe that he should never have been suspended. I don't believe that people should be canceled in that way. You should let him be there and then allow. Like, I hate Keith Olbermann, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think Keith Olbermann should be taken off of YouTube or X or whatever. I just zoom past him. I see.
You don't share his videos?
What? Yeah.
You don't share his videos?
Well, I should be able to share his videos if I wanted.
That's a callback.
Yeah, right.
You have to go back, Alva, to get that one.
Yeah, you'll have to go back a couple minutes to watch that, Alva. I watch a couple of his videos from time to time, and every time I do, I'm like, man, this guy is fucking insane. I hate this guy. And then I X off of it, and I don't watch it again. Okay? So that's just that. But Kendall was like, I cannot believe that Tucker gave him the time of day. That guy is vile. He's disgusting. Now, even in that, Kendall was saying he should have a place. He should be able to have a YouTube page. He should be able to have a Twitter account. He shouldn't be whatever. But I was just really kind of taken aback that Kendall sees no value in Alex Jones. And I can't say that I don't see any value. Like, that guy has been, there's things that he said that 10 years ago, I would have been like, this dude's insane. You know, or 5 years ago, I would have said this guy's insane. But after COVID, man, there's some things that he says, it's like, yeah, I can see that happening. That's plausible. I mean, I don't know that any gay frogs are going to get me or anything like that. And I'm not caught up about that. I think it's nonsense. But there is legitimacy in what he says. And it just, that goes back to your ability to be able to sort through things that say. You don't have to believe everything that we say or whatever. Take it, you know, take some of it, take some of this, X out this, and then make your own belief, you know. Let the people decide how popular or vilified a person is, Joey. That's perfect. And not have some small group of turds deciding who can have a voice or not. That's perfect. So I thought you know, I don't really know how you feel about Alex Jones, but I thought I would ask your opinion on that. If you used to be the Twitter guy on the Bastards.
Yeah, I agree with platforming people with, I don't know what exemptions I would put into that, but I mean, it's the same thing as, speaking of Jones, it's the same thing as Mike Jones. Like, right. He goes on your shit to complain all the time. It's like, there's nothing forcing him to watch you. He can just as easily click the block button, but not only does he not click the block button, he like follows you, like just to be angry about it. It's like you don't have to watch him. And you know, Alex Jones is going to say crazy shit no matter where he is, no matter what way he can say it.
Yeah.
We have a choice, though, to not listen to him. That's the weird thing about Twitter, any things to me. Like, again, you don't like Keith Olbermann. You don't have to follow Keith Olbermann.
Yeah.
That's kind of my perspective. As long as he's not doing anything like crazy illegal or something, I mean,
right.
I don't see the grounds for. If he wants to say insane shit, I don't know how you tell insane people they can't say insane things. That's the kind of things insane people say.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like you're expecting them to like sit down and discuss Wall Street, stocks with you and be social over brunch. I think not.
Yeah,
that's very strange, and it's like people's like, oh, think about the things that he's saying. He's saying like just god awful things. Could you imagine being the parents of some kid that was just killed and having to hear him?
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
That's horrible. Here's the thing now, and I'm not an apologist for him. He didn't specifically say this or this or this, and he brought up the point. He brought up ideas, and he brought those out. Now, I think he kind of conflates some things, and I don't go that far, but he said something on that Tucker interview that's very interesting. There are people that literally do not know the name, and I don't think that you should know the name. I don't think we should give those people any credence, but there are people that don't know the name of the shooter at Sandy Hook, but they will come up to Alex Jones in a parking lot and be like, why did you kill those kids?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's, you need to, he's been vilified to the point that people literally think that he was the school shooter. And it's like, back up here a second. That's, our insanity mixed with his insanity doesn't make normalcy. You don't, maybe don't be insane ourselves with his insanity. Just let it be. But, I don't know. I don't think that anyone should be blocked. We live in a world where Hamas has a YouTube account and a Twitter account, and some of those things, ISIS had an account, and you could go on and watch people being beheaded. And people are saying that Alex Jones shouldn't have a Twitter account. Give me a fucking break.
I changed my mind. I think people should be blocked. Like, for example, if someone goes and asks their legislator why they voted against tax breaks for disabled veterans, they should definitely
block that person. Maybe even cut that person's head.
Dare they ask that question?
YouTube, don't block my video. I was just joking. Don't cut Brandon's head off.
Don't do it. Don't cut my head off.
Don't do it. Yeah.
I don't care for that.
He needs to wear that Purdue hat.
Yeah, what am I going to put my Purdue hat on if I don't have a head?
Well, very good. I think coming up, we're going to be talking to some people from the west side of the state dealing with that LEAP water issue. I think this is going to be a big issue coming up here for the state house and for all of Indiana. So I think that'll be a big thing, and hopefully we'll be seeing Brandon some more in the future. You got any parting words?
Politicians aren't people.
Politicians aren't people. Go take those surveys. They're hard.
Take your surveys. Use the comment section. As far as I know, there's no character limit. I imagine there is. If you can hit it, I'm impressed. But you should definitely fill it out and put all your comments that you want to about your legislator. That's my
assassination is bad. Character assassination can be okay.
Sure.
If you're assassinating the right characters.
Sure.
All right. Well, very good. For my host script, I don't think I have anything. Tomorrow we'll be looking at the county. I'm going to try to have Ryan Webb on for some county stuff. We'll have to have Audie come on and do the opiate review after his surgery. I think he's hopped up on drugs or not. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's like, I don't need any
Well, there you
Just
go,
give me
Teresa. Good
oxygen.
job.
What?
Teresa hit the limit.
Oh. Oh, Jesus. I am absolutely I absolutely believe that. I can see Trace hitting the max character. That makes sense. That's funny. Yeah, tomorrow's show will be good. I have an ice
Webster.
pack machine. Yeah, it'll be interesting. My grandparents are like, we like him, but he's got that Trump hat.
Who does?
Rudd. Or not you.
I was gonna say I don't have a Trump hat.
No, not you. Webb. Sorry, wrong person. Let me see. I don't think I have. I've got a Trump shirt, but I don't have a Trump hat. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, put that up there. Let's go, Brandon.
Here we go. Can I fill the screen? I can't see the screen and hold up the sign at the same time.
Yeah, hey, hold on. Lift it a little bit up. Lift it a little bit to your left.
To my left?
Yeah. Yeah. Now lift your left corner up. There you go. That's perfect. All right. Well, we're going to go out with that, guys. Thank you very much. Tune in here this time tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be back here. We'll be back, and we'll see what goes on. Thanks, Brandon. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Take care, people. Goodbye. Ah!